All right, on a lighter note, let's talk Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery. Tech billionaire Miles Braun invites his friends for a getaway on his private Greek island. When someone turns up dead, Detective Benoit Blanc, is on the case. Let's get right into it. Boys, what do you think of this movie?
Andrew, you want to go ahead and start?
Yeah, Andrew, go ahead and start, dude. You usually start us off. What's up?
Yeah, no, I always start us off. I hated this movie. This is the worst movie I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I wish I didn't watch it after we ranked all of our movies, so I could put it at the worst.
This is
Wow.
the
For real though.
Yeah,
for real
someone clip
though.
that.
I just watched the first one. I'm ignorant. I just watched the first one. I think on like the 22nd, some shit like that. I was already at home. I popped that bad boy on and I was like, oh, this is pretty good. And I went in high expectations with the second one. I didn't have to wait long like you guys did. So maybe that made it better for you. But no, the first one definitely takes the cake. I think that's the common consensus though for a lot of people.
I was kidding. This movie's actually not horrible. I actually
Yeah.
enjoyed it. I watched it last night.
But this movie was good, and we knew from the first one there's some twist. The twist in this one kept you on your toes. I flowed with it.
Well, and I'm going to say this because I forgot to mention after the synopsis. This has a 93% critic score and 93% audience score. So it's 93 across the board, which that's crazy good, right?
Personally, I think that's kind of high.
Yeah,
so I was going to ask because we did a rewind on it. I think November 8th, I want to say, on the original Knives Out movie.
What did everyone give for that? Do you have that written down?
I do. So I believe Andrew gave it a 89, which is the lowest out of us. I give it a 96, which is the highest. Aiden gave it a 95, and Mike gave it a 91. So I'm going to ask you guys, because, I mean, obviously people are going to compare the two. Did you guys like this one more? And because I'll start here. I think I like the original one more, but I don't think it's a crazy difference. I think they're very close. So my score is going to be very close, I'd say.
I will.
Spoilers, but I don't think it's crazy difference. I don't think this one's soft compared to the first. Go ahead.
I think I like the cast more for the first movie, and I think that plays a really big part into me liking the first movie more than the second one. But I still think this movie is just a little bit weaker in terms of just the overall twist and the mystery, and just kind of building up to the story. And like Andrew said, that third part of the movie is kind of a little weak in my opinion. It doesn't really do too much.
Okay,
I don't think Andrew said that yet.
He said it earlier on.
I can. I got a lot to say.
Well, regardless, the third part of the movie.
I did say that in take one of the podcast.
Like Glass Onion and had 93s across the board. I'm looking at Knives Out, and it came out in 2019, and it's still sitting at a 97% Rotten Tomatoes. So
yeah.
I mean,
which at the time we said that deserves it too. So
100%.
I still thought that was a little bit
to this day. That's the thing. I mean, you gotta take like Rian Johnson's perspective into I mixed that, but he wrote these are original from him. Like he writes and directs both movies, so it's an original idea, and that was the problem. That like I'm surprised that we got Glass Onion as fast as we did from Knives Out, because I mean it's not easy to write, like
well, they did it right at the beginning of the pandemic too.
Yeah, and I believe that I think it's good. Like for a second movie, a sequel to this, it does like hold its ground. It's obviously not better, but it's not a bad movie, Like I mean, it doesn't have the rewatchability like Knives Out does. And like you mentioned, Mike, it has like Knives Out 1 has a greater cast. This cast is still good, but it's more of a what is it, like a popularity cast, I want to say. Like Dave Bautista and the girl from Outer Banks.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like Dave Bautista,
Edward Norton.
Yeah, Edward Norton's a good character, I think. But
Kate Hudson.
But he's like established. He's like a
Catherine Hahn though.
Yeah,
Dave Bautista just pisses me off now. Honestly, he's really like not.
I feel like we've just seen so much of him this year, and that's the thing. He's in the new M. Night Shyamalan movie too.
Bad take, Michael. Absolutely terrible take.
He's literally
terrible shit take.
He's literally just like The Rock.
Idiot.
He's a good actor.
He's better
He's
than
literally
that.
just like The
That's
Rock.
what
He
The
plays
Rock shoot for.
The Rock. I definitely think it goes.
Person in
it
every
definitely
fucking
goes
movie.
Dave Bautista, John Cena, The Rock.
That's the dumbest thing I've
Cold
ever
Steve
heard.
Austin and
Hasn't The
Grown Ups
Rock
2?
made like the most money out of any other actor?
I will
like,
shit on The Rock to the day I die, but The Rock is by far a better actor than both of those. John Cena is better than Dave Bautista too in terms of acting.
Dude, like I said, Stone Cold Steve Austin and Grown Ups 2 is better than any Rock movie that you've ever seen.
Now I wasn't on the Knives Out episode, but I'd like to officially give my
Well, you listened to
score.
it. Yeah,
Yeah, I know, but I never got to officially give my score. Personally, I'd give it a 94.
Okay.
This movie is going to be around there, but lower.
Oh, I don't know.
So
Okay.
I do agree with that.
Is it much lower, Brian, or do you think there's some?
No, it's close. But the thing that will play a factor is, like Aiden said, the no rewatchability. Well, not that there's no rewatchability, but
Nah.
I'm not
So-
gonna itch as bad. Like I'm probably gonna end up watching Knives Out again. Like I rented it and I watched it twice. I fell asleep
Well,
the second time because it was late, but I mean I watched it twice.
I want to say
Okay.
this because before you go into it, Mike, sorry. I've seen this movie twice. I think I'm the only one that's seen it twice. I saw it in theaters a month ago for the week it was on Thanksgiving. Really weird release schedule, but I saw it twice.
Stupid.
So stupid. The dumbest
I will
release
say
schedule I've
this.
ever seen in cinema history.
With the twist. It is definitely worth watching again.
Was everyone
Definitely
in the
worth watching
theater
it.
gasping?
So there's a
Did someone
part-
faint where they're like, oh, okay.
There's a part where Andy comes in and Miles makes this like face. It's right when they get off the boat. And Miles makes this face like, whoa, I've seen a ghost. It's because he has, right? Like he does not expect Andy to show up. And when you're watching originally, you have no clue why. So she shows up. And then a little bit later, when they're like talking about the dong noise or whatever. when he's
Also, that's
introducing him
James
to the
Gordon
island.
Levitt.
It is. I was gonna say that. But he touches Andy on the shoulder as if she's like a ghost.
Yeah.
And it's really
He,
cool.
like he barely touches her.
Yeah,
It's
he like
an
barely
awkward
touches her. He's
touch.
like nervous to touch her, and you think when you watch it the first time, oh well, they have tension. You know, they don't really like each other as characters. No, he literally thinks he killed her like a week ago. So it is worth watching again, and it does have rewatchability. So just to kind of say it from someone who has seen it twice, I think it definitely is worth watching again.
But I mean, even if you rewatched it or not, like when you're watching it and he does like the awkward stuff, like you can tell that you can see the glass swap. Because I mean it's so obvious, and then you go like, but like I said, it all makes sense. It ties in once the movie ends. Like once that turn comes, and you're like, oh, all right, that makes sense because he thinks she's dead.
Yeah, and another thing I caught the second time around was like when they send the puzzle box at the beginning of the movie. At the end, after you get the box open and everything, they read the card. At the end of the card, it says like, "Please let me know if you have any allergy concerns or something like that." And then he ends up killing Dave Bautista's character with an allergy.
Pineapple.
Yeah, really cool. I caught that in the second time through.
Yep.
So like, it is cool to watch it again, and you do like I've seen the first Knives Out 4 or 5 times. And you know, same with this. I think it does have rewatchability, which is what makes these movies so good, especially with them being mystery movies. I mean, another movie another movie we've compared like is like Gone Girl. Like Gone Girl, we've said before, like you can really only watch it once without, you know, you wish you could watch it again for the first time. Whereas this, like, you can watch it again and catch new things, which is really cool about it. So,
yeah, again, I think the only thing that it does come down to for me would be the fact it just goes back to like the cast, and it's the first one to do this, you know. Now you said that you caught the second time around like where he's like taken aback when he sees what's her name, Ollie?
He's shocked.
What is it?
Andy.
Andy. You see Andy on the island. That to me kind of made me feel like he killed her, and when it did come out that he did, I was just kind of like, okay, maybe. I can't say I saw how we were going to get here, but I kind of did feel like Edward Norton played a part just the way he reacted initially.
Well, see, I'll say this. I believed that he was shocked that she was there because the whole group kind of treated her as an outcast and kind of hate her and everything.
Right, and that makes sense over time. But I'm like, from that initial one, I remember thinking in that moment, oh, he had a part in this somehow. And then you hear the story. And again, that's good storytelling. If you can hear the story and then they throw you off of it. You had this original idea. It makes sense. And then boom, the storytelling was able to make you think, well, maybe, you know, we're going to see this through and we're going to figure out what actually happened.
See, how cringe was it when you saw Among Us playing?
That was kind of funny.
It was
cool.
A lot of cameos there too.
Yeah, a lot of cameos. They had Abdul-Jabbar, and then 2 other people. I guess.
Anytime I see him now, I think about him breaking his fucking ankle and Dave in the doorway.
Yeah, let's kick him in the door.
Oh fuck.
So I'm gonna tell you guys my 5 favorite things about this movie, and the one thing that really pissed me off. One, I really like the Serena Williams ad when they were talking.
That was funny.
And she was like, "You guys want to work out? I'm here getting paid." I thought that was really
I'm on the clock.
I'm on the clock. I thought that was a really funny part of the movie. 2, I still think Daniel Craig is an amazing actor, and I think he did an awesome job as Benoit Blanc, Mr. 007 himself. And then obviously 3, Ethan Hawke. Seeing him, he's a great actor and one of my favorite actors. So seeing him was kind of cool, even though it was for a short time period.
Mm.
Fourth is the twist with the sister. I think that twist honestly kind of saved the movie for me, even though I could pretty much tell you what, like Brian said, like it was pretty predictable that like Edward Norton's character Miles killed her, in my opinion.
I have something.
Yeah, but you didn't
that
know.
jetpack.
I mean, you didn't know how, but it was kind of obvious.
We have that thought.
And then my fifth one is just Madeline Klein. That's it.
Yeah,
just Madeline Klein.
So to piggyback, jump, skip, hop off of that real quick. When Daniel Craig shows up and he's uninvited, but he's invited, did you think like fucking Edward Norton was actually going to get killed for a second? And then he was invited to solve it. That's where that was again a great twist at the beginning, and then boom, Dave Bautista's dead, and you're like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah, before they get on the ship though, they're all like, "Why is the number one detective in the world here?" Like,
yeah,
it's
his
just
character's name is Murder Mystery.
It's a dumbass plot, like anyway, like for being honest.
Well, and dinner party mysteries. Dinner party
sense,
mysteries are an actual thing people do too. So it's
I
like,
was saying, my parents have done it.
yeah. So it is like a thing, like a game night thing. So
I like how it's literally like just a random group of people, and then you all see.
And then you figure out how they're all tied together, which is fucking sick.
Catherine Hahn played the governor. Dave Bautista played just
he was a nerd.
Twitch
he was
influencer.
A nerd that Twitch.
Yeah. And it's funny that they kept like dropping like,
dude,
oh, we got me all these followers on Twitch and all
yeah.
that.
What about it was what was really cool was Andy, who what's his sister's name? Do you remember? Anyone remember?
Andy's
Helen?
sister, Helen.
Helen. What was really cool was who we think is Andy, but it's actually Helen. When she's talking to Whiskey, and Whiskey's not dumb as fuck, and Whiskey's just like, oh yeah, like I'm just kind of here, like I don't really even like him. It's just like I need the brand.
Yeah,
and
I like how throughout the movie
with Edward Norton.
Yeah, and like again, she's just using like she's just toy to them because again, she's getting what she wants. But then on top of that too, she goes, "Everyone thinks I'm so dumb that I can say whatever I want and nobody listens." And it's like, all right, this bitch is smart as hell.
Yeah,
I like how throughout the movie too, like you realize Miles is a dumbass. Like throughout the movie, because you're like at first he's like this established billionaire who's like definitely well off. You think he's probably a genius, but yeah, throughout the movie you can tell he's just an idiot.
When Daniel Craig is just rambling, and Helen is dead and shot, which is also was really cool when she gets up and it's the diary that saved her. I thought that was a cool nod.
We all thought she died, right?
Yeah, 100.
Yeah, who would?
Anyone that, yeah.
Yeah.
But also the hot sauce up the nose, I would have flaked. I would have flaked right away. That's a trooper right there. But Daniel Craig being able to just ramble and ramble. He doesn't even have proof yet, but he has the suspicions, and then he zones in on Miles. Just goes, "You're an idiot," and just starts exposing him for a bunch of shit.
Well, it's cool too with the dinner party, like the murder mystery. He solved it within a matter of 15 seconds, pretty much.
Well, that's I know it's a little cringe having like Among Us at the beginning of the movie, and like that kind of dates the movie in a way, right? But like, I think it's kind of cool because he sucked at the game and he was an imposter that got voted out right away. And this whole movie is him infiltrating this island and this group of people as an imposter. And he's having Andy, or the twin, being an imposter with him. So I think that's kind of cool the way they foreshadow that. I did like that. Thinking back, watching it again, I thought that was kind of cool.
That is cool. Again, I thought that was funny. That was
like,
I thought
how you mentioned how you mentioned like Daniel Craig just being able to go on a rant. Like that's great acting. Like knowing all those lines, just killing the scene.
He's a great fucking actor, man.
Oh yeah. I've been watching like a bunch of Rian Johnson interview videos, and he said that on Knives Out, the original one, the donut hole scene, like how he just goes on a rant about the donut hole. He's like, "There's a donut hole inside the donut hole," like that. Yeah. So then he wrote that, and they were gonna cut it, and Daniel Craig was like, "No, like watch." And then they filmed the scene, and he's like, they were just shocked, like they were dead silent. They're like, "What the fuck was that?"
That's amazing.
How did you
That's one of my favorite scenes, bro.
Yeah, literally, that's literally like iconic.
But there's something missing.
Yeah,
a donut hole in a donut hole.
It's crazy that they were gonna cut that scene. It's the most iconic scene in the whole movie.
I would say it's funny how some things make it into movies. Like just the dumbest fucking ideas are like the best scenes that you think like they can be cut within like just like a matter of seconds if like one
Improv.
bad take happens or like the
Mhm.
director just doesn't like it. So
My
it's
favorite are like actual injuries that roll, and the most famous one that I feel like I read about all the fucking time. Yep, Leo cutting his hand, and then he wipes the blood on the girl's face, so like her face is actual fear because that's real blood wiped
But
on it.
You know how many times I've seen Django Unchained? You know about that scene. Just rewatch it. And watch
Mhm.
everyone's reaction because they literally look like side eye.
Yeah.
Like, and then they like there's a subtle pause, and then they just keep going. It looks like a cut, but it's
Yep.
not.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's just crazy. I mean, that just shows you great acting,
Oh, 100%.
and especially like a star-studded cast like Knives Out and Glass Onion. Like, I mean, it's tough to like make a good movie with everyone being on screen. And there was
yeah.
another thing that Ryan Johnson mentioned with Glass Onion is that like even from the beginning when they're docking and introducing each other, like meeting up again, like almost everyone's in the shot for like that entire continuous scenes. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you got to think like that's not easy.
Well, another thing too I read about this movie today was this movie is realistic to the point where the pandemic happened in it. And basically
I'm
when
with
they show
Aiden.
when
I
they're
didn't
showing up
like
to the
that.
dock, hold on, before we talk about that, when they show up to the dock, each one of them has different masks on,
Mhm.
and it symbolizes their character. So like Birdie has this mesh mask that's not really a mask, and then Lionel's character, who's the like scientist, has like an N95 mask and all this stuff. And Daniel Craig's got this nice like fleeced mask that's like nice and elegant. Like so, each character has their mask that like defines who they are and stuff like that. I
Mhm.
thought that was kind of cool. But that brings me to my question: what did you guys think about this movie having the pandemic and COVID into it and stuff like that?
We
Did
lived
you
was-
through it. It was horrible. I don't want to see it in movies.
Okay.
So that's another like interview question that Ryan Johnson got, and they're like, he's like, I wrote it during the pandemic. I wanted to ease it in just to show like Birdie having the mess mask, like Lana Del Rey, like that she got a bunch
Yep.
of shit for having that exact same mask, and it just shows you, like you said, the mask per character and what their beliefs are and stuff like that. But he said that he didn't want to overkill it. That's why he did the thing, and then it's over with.
Which
I
I
mean,
did
then again, like-
appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad it's not like a mass movie, but then he also mentioned how like that's the first like they had to do mass acting. So like you see them, they have full conversations with the masks on, which
Yeah. So like Claire's
uh,
sorry, but like with the mask acting, like you said, Claire was talking to Benoit Blanc when they meet on the deck, and she's talking to him, and it's starting to slip off her face. And Benoit Blanc's like, "Oh no, I know who you are. You're the governor." And she pulls up her mask.
yeah.
Really cool if you notice that. Like that's the
Yeah.
mask acting that Aiden's talking about.
Uh-huh.
So.
So I mean, yeah, I mean, it's not awful. It's not like it's a movie based on the pandemic. Like
No.
simple as that. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
they
no,
make
no.
And after
it
20 minutes, it's
shows,
gone, like
but-
you guys said.
Yeah, and that's why. I mean, it is what it is. But
And they fixed it with a quick little jab.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
You know
it
what
makes
wasn't
sense if you think about it. Miles Braun
Pretty soon.
thinking he has a cure to COVID or whatever, something to stop it,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that
true.
too. They should have made mention of that. That would have been a great little like bit in the movie. Like, oh no, I made it myself. Like it's a cure or something stupid. But then again, I mean, if they put that in there, a lot of people like lost loved ones.
Yeah.
So they'd be like, that's fucked up.
Would get
Yeah.
pissed off and everything. Because I think, wasn't it Shameless that like their whole last season was
How come
COVID
I don't have that
related?
Shit.
cure?
Shameless, the last season, ruined the entire show, and that's a
Yeah, they
Just
had
like
masks on the whole
that.
time, right?
that is a fantastic show. That the last season, I
You can
won't
only watch
spoil
like good seasons.
I won't spoil the end of the show, but they basically
Get
use
COVID.
Yeah, they use COVID as like the sellout and call
They
it
all
like
die.
no, like kind of like that was
It
really
shuts down the bar.
like really disappointing last season to a
Oh, that
fantastic
sucks.
show.
I watched until like season 8 or 9, I think.
Once Fiona left, I stopped watching.
I didn't make it that
Oh,
far.
I think it gets
made
even
to
better
season
when she
4.
leaves.
Who's
Really? Wow.
who's the guy that's in Jedi?
Bear?
And
Oh.
the red-haired
he
guy.
plays Ian.
Was he in Gotham too, Mike?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. He's a really good
bro?
actor.
You
He
love
plays-
Gotham. You can't even name your favorite character, bro. That's fucked up. And the only motherfucker
Joker.
in here that's watched Gotham. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Hey, Brian.
Who's watched Gotham in here?
Brian. Hey Brian, go fuck yourself, buddy.
All right.
I just finally watched the Batman.
Hey, fuck! Who gives a shit about Gotham? We're doing a Glass Onion review, boys.
Hey
Oh,
buddy.
shit.
Hey Aiden, how about you
I
get
like-
your Campbell's
Ethan-
soup can and your strings and fucking shut up? How about that, buddy?
Damn.
But
Fuck,
we didn't even
fuck,
talk
you
about
got
Hugh
two
Grant
lost on.
being married to
You want to talk about Hugh
Daniel Craig.
James?
No.
Got him. Go ahead, Mike. What were you saying?
No,
Yeah,
I was
go
to say we
talk
didn't
about
talk
Hugh Grant.
about Hugh Grant, how he joked he's married to 007, and
Yeah.
Man, they make a good couple.
I think we can make a good couple.
Yo.
Oh. Whoa. That's
Yeah,
Anyway.
What did you guys think about Edward Norton playing?
I'm tired of him
They
just
said that
playing
they're
an
pushing it
asshole,
like,
dude.
pushing it like he's supposed to be Elon Musk, but I don't think like I didn't really see that.
Bro, I can see that actually now that you say it.
I mean, that's what people were like hinting it as, but Ryan Johnson didn't like
He
confirm.
kind of looks like a blonde version of Elon Musk, if we're being honest with you, too.
I can see that.
blonde.
Well, and I think when he was writing this
Yeah.
movie, Elon was a little
Light
bit more
hair.
loved. I feel like, not to say he's hated, but like, I don't know,
Yeah, but a
recently
lot of
with Twitter
people-
and everything.
Twitter and his true colors have kind of shown, so he's not.
Yeah, so I
Yeah,
think when
bro,
he
he
originally wrote it, he
started-
didn't write him in mind, but
I don't want to get into it, but the idea of every single change that's come to Twitter, it can be pinpointed to someone making a tweet and getting banned, and then a rule change is one of the funniest goddamn things.
Oh
yeah.
They
One of
posted
the
the picture
dumbest
of
fucking
Elon
things.
Musk like on the boat or some shit. They banned him. They just took it off. You can literally just take it off. I can literally tweet fuck Elon Musk. If
He literally used
Oh
a
shit!
Twitter poll to decide if he should step down
Yeah,
from Twitter.
Yeah.
yeah, and then when everyone voted yes to step down, he goes,
should
actually,
take
I'm
it?"
gonna make it so anyone that has Twitter Blue can say yes or no, and then someone goes, so what? You want people to spend $8 for free speech like you promised on this app?
Yeah.
Oh man. So yeah, I think they did a great job there because Edward Norton, I fucking hate it. And it reminded me of him in what's that gambling movie? Rounders? Is that the name of it? Where he's a piece of shit. Counter? What is it?
counting.
Counting? That one. It reminded me of him in that
Counting?
one when he's just slimy as fuck. And who is it? Is it Matt Damon that's like the fucking Rain Man that can like read the cards and shit?
I don't even remember.
Oh, if you know what movie I'm talking about,
Just know 21's the best blackjack movie of all.
yeah.
time.
Well, your favorite actor's in it, Kevin Spacey. Anyway, so what did you guys feel? How did you guys feel about
Old crazy
the?
acting school?
How did you guys feel about the ending of this movie? Because I think for me,
So,
I wasn't a fan of her breaking all that shit right at the end, but I get that, he's this billionaire and they're kind of like, the common folk, and like it's kind of hard to hurt this Goliath character, right? In a way, I don't know. I was trying to connect the dots,
so-
but like
they're
the
not
first time through, I was like, I didn't like it.
They're not really the common folk. Like, I mean, she's the only one. She's
Compared
just
to
getting
him.
revenge for her.
I was gonna say,
yeah,
they're
but I
all
mean,
pretty.
but that was the
not
thing
long.
because of him. They were all
Because of
successful.
him.
Yeah, so they're
Yeah.
all like piggybacking off of him basically.
So they
Or
are
jetpack
common
piggyback.
folk without him.
They are
pretty
common
much.
folk. Without him, they'd be nothing.
But
Well,
they're
and
already
another thing
established.
too,
They
we
were
haven't even
before.
We haven't even talked about it, the Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty like decently big part of the movie.
That dude would okay.
You
The
imagine
Franken shit got old, but when she took off slow motion, he goes, "Of course, I have an override button," which he hints at the beginning or says at the beginning.
Yeah.
Runs up and just. Whoosh.
I could have the second they introduced Mona Lisa, I could have told you that it was in somehow, some way get destroyed.
Yeah.
Destroyed or stolen
I mean, they
or
were hinting
something.
at it the whole time. That one scene where his phone kept going off and you could hear it slide up and down, dude. I was getting pissed off. I was
No,
like,
but
holy
dude, like
shit,
that
it's like an
scene
alarm
builds
clock, like, take
up
it
like
off.
anxiety and shit.
Yeah,
you
it's just
know?
that's what literally brings the tension in the scene, which is
Would
good.
Mhm.
It does what it needs to do.
Yeah. But what was I gonna say? The ending,
ending. Yeah.
like when she's breaking stuff, yeah, it seems like, all right, get it over with, like break everything. But you got to think that he has absolutely nothing. He's probably in debt once she burns that Mona Lisa. Realistically, because
And that's the only important thing in there,
priceless.
really, right?
Yeah, and that everything that's why he didn't give a shit about anything else. But the Mona Lisa and his compound, like now he has nothing, and they're exposing him. So he's where he's.
Yeah, I
mean,
don't know.
he's
The
at
ending
that
to me
point.
just felt weak. I don't know. Something like
the power of friendship. She was right all along,
And
and now
then
we're gonna
she-
lie on
and then
his name.
she
So they're
burns
like,
the Mona
yeah, they all
Lisa.
lie.
She
Like,
burns
yeah,
the Mona
I saw you
Lisa
switch the
and-
glass. I saw
Yeah,
you.
and then
do
they all
this.
flip flop like they're like that's some magical revolution.
But that,
Yeah.
They're
but
still
that's the
pieces of
point
shit.
of the cast, I believe, because they're all just followers. Like they're all just
They're
I
leeches.
know.
Yeah,
I felt like it ended. I don't know if I needed like a big bang or something, but I don't know. I wanted some more
They
substance.
get a big
Technically,
bang.
there was a big
that
bang.
thing blew up.
Yeah, there literally was actually a big
I
bang.
I agree with Andrew. I think I just needed a little bit more substance for that ending.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, it's a good movie and it's a good sequel to Knives Out,
It-
but
It's a good,
ultimately, Knives Out
good
is the
where to go.
yeah.
In
I
my
definitely
opinion.
I wasn't a fan of the ending at all, especially when they're just sitting on the beach watching the cop boats like pull up. Like, okay, something else has to happen, right?
Yeah, that part of the movie too was so fucking stupid. He had some type of dock where they couldn't they couldn't go in.
But that
right
just
when
proves
there's
how
someone-
much more of a dumbass he is. He's just
Or
fucking
when he
stupid.
has what is
That's-
it? It's not John Lennon. It was Paul McCartney's guitar that he wrote Glass Onion with,
Yeah.
and he just throws it in the sand.
Yeah, I mean, Mike, what idiot would have the Mona Lisa in his living room? It's just stupid.
I'm saying like I agree with you, but I think
Yeah.
it's less like dumb mastery on his part and more so just like a shitty excuse that I had the cops come. At that
Yeah,
time, at first.
like kind of.
Compound's probably the sweetest place that I've seen.
Well,
in,
no,
like,
see, like I think a bad excuse would be, oh, the tide's just too high. Like there's a storm. Like, you know what I mean?
That's
like,
pretty much what it was.
It's pretty much
no,
what
it was
said.
that the dock that he decided to make is what is the reason why the cops can't come. I think that's a better excuse than, oh, well, there's a storm out there. You know what I mean?
Well, but if
Personally, I mean, that's just
if
when it
you're a
comes to
good cop,
nitpicking.
you don't give a fuck about the dock. You do dock on the sand for all you care. Like,
Well, and Mike, like
that's
like
just-
if,
that's
And
just-
if
realistically,
Miles
he would
was
have been
like,
greasing all their pockets, so they should have been on there in seconds.
yeah, Mike, like
But he can
like
tell
if,
him no. Like,
if Miles was this genius and it was like the bridge was the problem, then I'd agree with you. But the fact that like throughout the movie they make him seem dumber and dumber, it made sense that the bridge obviously is his fault and he's an idiot for coming up with that stupid idea. So I think like that and storytelling way like works, I guess.
so,
But yeah, I liked a lot too how this movie was from like Blanc's perspective, whereas the first movie was from like Ana de Armas's character's perspective. I like that a lot too, especially with like Andy not really being Andy and everything like that. I liked how that worked out too. So
Kate Hudson was great. Birdie, she played Birdie great.
She was
just
funny.
like a dumb influencer, basically, or she was a model, right?
Model, yeah.
Yeah.
I think all the characters underneath Edward Norton, Miles.
Was there one in particular you really liked, Mike?
There
maybe.
was
Catherine Hahn.
No, there definitely was one. Her name's Madeline. I can't tell you why. It's just something about her. I don't know. It's
You
just something about
guys
her.
think of Peg, Birdie's assistant or her publicist? It was like literally the most pointless character. Like, yeah, she's a good
Pretty much.
actress, and
Dude,
all that,
Peg was
it was
funny
like she
though.
had
That
nothing.
though.
she had like no role at all. Like, yeah, she had little like bits and stuff like that, but at the end of the movie and everything said and done, like she really didn't do anything.
For a second, I thought that she was possibly going to be tied somehow because when they introduced everything,
Mhm.
they didn't really introduce her character. So I'm like, okay, that's pretty suspicious that they didn't introduce her character. But
Yeah, but that's the point of her character to be ignored. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but like, yeah, that's the whole thing, right? So Blanc is new to the group, and they're all treating him like with respect and stuff because he is this famous detective. But he gets to see how they treat her, right? And they treat her like shit. So I kind of did like her character being there just so he could see how they interact with her.
Well, one thing I like too is how Blanc came up with the idea for Helen to kind of play like her sister,
Straight.
and yeah, and how like he almost got an excuse to get a box too. Like that was really genius on his part, and that twist, honestly, like I will say that is. Again, like I get that's the whole point of a mystery is a twist and finding out the ending, but that twist was really good, and I think the twist compares to the first movie in terms of how good it was, but it's just that third act of the movie that's really kind of
and like you said, the twists are completely different from each other too, from the first movie to this
and I
movie,
think
which is cool.
That's a product of like being written right after the first Knives Out. Like they tried to be so different with it too. Sometimes like it's almost like a product of it's just time. Like they should have took a little bit more time, I feel like, in between the two movies. But I will say if they do a third movie, which actually we didn't talk about this, Daniel Craig and whoever is part of the Muppets are talking about having the Muppets in the third one.
Yeah, Rian Johnson. Yeah,
That'd be so fucking perfect, dude. It
Honestly,
would work
bro,
so well.
I'm thinking, I mean, the
This
cast
is one of those ones where it would fucking work so well.
It would.
Well, so if they did,
if
they do a
third, like a little short, I think that would be.
That could be interesting.
Yeah,
if they did a third, who would you want in it?
Oh,
me,
Piggy, of course.
Me and Aiden, at least.
Kermit.
I mean, that's a hard question because it literally can be anyone.
I know, but I keep seeing on TikTok like lists of people that people
like
want,
actual actors.
Yeah, like celebrities of,
Give me
and there's like
Haley-
celebrities that want to be in it.
Haley Atwell. I want to see her in that.
Who?
Just because I want to see her acting.
Give me
Marvel.
Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah, Sydney Sweeney would be great.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think Zendaya would be good.
Fuck it, give me the cast Euphoria.
Yeah, cast Euphoria. Murder
Pretty
Mystery.
much.
Are we just naming off attractive
It's just
women now?
it's just Benoit coming in, just like they seem to all be
Jennifer
addicted to
Lopez
drugs.
could be
Ana de Armas is back playing a different character.
what's the
But he's got an
Angelina
eye
Jolie?
patch.
She could be in there.
Keanu Reeves,
She could do
maybe.
an all girls cast.
Yeah, Keanu.
Reeves,
Just
they're
all
trying to
these
hunt
attractive
down his
women like
dog.
Keanu.
No, you gotta do like
Jim Halpert. I feel like Jim
There's
Halpert
something
would be good
about
in one
like
of
you gotta think of the
these.
cast in the first one. They had like Jamie Lee Curtis, they had Chris Evans, they had Hannah Baker, the kid from
Ana de
It,
Armas.
Ana de Armas. they
Hannah
had,
Baker. We don't even know her
what's the-
fucking name.
Oh, why would you? She's Hannah Baker.
Hannah Baker.
It's Morgan Stark too.
I knew he was gonna say it.
I
I
want
was
to see
gonna say it, but I was like,
Iron
Mike's
Man,
gonna beat
Captain
me to it.
America. I wanna
You
see
guys
Hulk.
have done it every single time too, so I don't.
Hey
wanna
Mike,
hear
you
it.
got Hulk.
Hey, Aiden. Hey, Aiden. You got two
Guardians of the
cables,
Galaxy.
chicken
Who
noodle
else did you
soups
get? Yeah, you got
under your head, and then you
Drax.
got a string
Uh,
connecting the dots. You want to hear?
yeah.
Put
You got
it through my window,
Agatha
you can talk,
Harkness
you can
in
maybe
there?
hear you a little
He's
bit
got
better.
Agatha. Mike's getting his. This is. I'm surprised you didn't get this 100. Yeah, I mean it's not
Shut
too
the
late.
fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
It's
But who's one character that they were saying? I feel like John Boyega would be good. in
He'd be
that.
That would
Yeah.
be cool. Yeah.
Give me RDJ.
He'd be a little
As
expensive.
Sherlock Holmes, though.
No, I think
Oh.
Rami Malek would be great too.
Hmm.
Now,
Well,
like
at that point, Benedict.
so like just to circle back real quick to what Mike said, like if bringing in the Muppets I think would be fucking funny, only because me and one of my coworkers were talking about it today, and he was like, oh, I started Glass Onion, didn't really like it, like Daniel Craig doing that voice seems like they're doing too much, and I go, that's the point though, like they're just ripping Clue. Like this is modern day Clue with twists and turns, and they're making it extravagant. And he has that piece of shit accent that you don't even know what to call it. Like when I watched Knives
I
Out,
had no idea.
10 minutes in, I texted Josh and I go, what the fuck is this accent?
I don't
Yeah.
mind it, honestly.
No, I love it.
Yeah,
It
I
grows
grows
on you.
But it caught me off guard. And then, yeah, when my coworker said that, I was just like, yeah, this movie just has fun. Like, they go to, like, drag that shit out. And that's why I think the Muppets would be funny as hell in this.
I think if they had like a really
You could do a
short and
whole
small
movie in
part
Muppets.
in the third one, it'd be really good.
Either they
or
gotta
if they
do,
did like a
something
little
small or,
short
like, yeah, like a 45-minute quick movie.
on some
I
like
mean, you gotta
platform.
think
or
like
something.
how hard it is, especially making this one. Like this one, I'm sure was hard to write, let alone a third one. Like you already got your rich billionaire like on his private island. The first one was a rich family trying to get a deed or a will, and everyone's just scumbags. Like what could possibly be the third one? What like,
Trashier.
what do you guys think?
Well, they got to do it with less wealthy people. I think. I think money shouldn't be a big part of the third one. They got to switch it up a little bit.
Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, that'd be kind of
be good.
cool if they could do something a little bit
No,
different.
they just literally have Benoit going after, like, the fucking, what's his name, Zodiac Killer?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. So like the first movie's like family, and the second movie's like a friend group. I feel like the third one should just be like strangers, kind of, or maybe coworkers or something. I don't know.
Or it would be really good to do like some Squid Games type thing, not as in like too advanced, but like randomize people. Like everyone wins a contest,
Yeah.
like at the mall
Yeah.
or something
That'd be
stupid,
cool.
and then you have 10 or like 8 random people, and then something goes wrong. Like that'd be a good ass idea for a third one.
Yeah, like a Charlie and the
Johnson,
Chocolate
Brian
Factory.
Johnson,
Johnson, if you're
Write that
listening to
down.
this.
Ryan Johnson, you hear this? Pay up, motherfucker.
And,
So
and if
as
you're
a-
listening to this, never hire Dave Bautista for one of your movies again.
He goes,
As of-
technically, we don't have to pay young Aiden Bender because he brought up Squid Games, and I am not ripping Squid Games.
No, that would be a good idea.
that
That
is a
would
good
be
idea.
really cool to.
You should email Netflix. As of 2
Hey,
hours ago,
Netflix, hear me out.
Glass Onion became Netflix's third most popular film through the first 10 days of release, and it's already in the top 10 of their movies for box office numbers, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
How do
Number
they
one's
count?
Red Notice.
Yeah, how
How
does
do
that
they count
even
that?
work?
Well, like, okay, so this movie came out for that week in theaters, and it's currently in theaters now if you didn't want to watch it at home on Netflix. So, like,
So
Red
they
Notice
bonus
made
shit.
$356 million in theaters alone.
Red Notice.
Hey,
Wait,
I'll
was
tell
that
you.
for
I
Lord
didn't even know that
By
was
the
in
way, Mike.
theaters.
You want to know? You
No,
want to know
longer than a
why?
week, wasn't it?
You want to know why? 2 words for you: Gal Gadot. That's the only reason why.
Yeah.
Not Ryan Reynolds or fucking The Rock.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that's pretty cool. I think this probably will end up becoming the biggest movie.
Why was there an awkward pause?
I thought you were gonna say. I thought you were gonna say.
I thought we had
I'll
more.
tell you why.
had more.
You know, I'll tell why, and I'll tell the audience why. 'Cause you're showing horny on Maine, man.
That's the joke.
You gotta
idiot.
clean up your act, brother.
That's literally the joke.
You can't. We're gonna have.
Well,
new,
you know, I
podcast.
think it's
We're gonna
about
have a
that
meeting.
time where we
Have a
just
meeting
round
where-
it.
And if you want a movie where The Rock is better than
Yeah,
Dave,
before
Sorry, Brian, you
HR
start.
needs to
There you
get
go.
involved.
Yeah,
HR,
before we
this
get
guy's an idiot.
canceled, we're just gonna roll into these numbers, boys. What are we thinking?
Brian, how about you start us off?
All right, bet. So like I said, the first Knives Out wasn't on the episode. I'd give that a 94. Like I said, for this one, it's not going to be far behind. The rewatchability is what it comes down to. I feel like the twist though was really fucking good. It wasn't as good as what I thought the first one was. Plus the first cast, top notch. I didn't even know what the fuck I was going into when I was watching it. So that plays a big factor. But I'd say with confidence, I can give this a fucking 89. I don't think it's at the 90 level because, like, again, if I really wanted to dig suck, if I didn't just watch the first movie, that would be 100.
Really-
Yeah, exactly. That would be like a 100. If I rewatched it and it was just as good as like the time I just did. And then this one, again, I just watched it. The first one does take the cake. A 90 doesn't feel right for this, but an 89 with confidence, yes. Good ass watch. If you listen to this, hopefully you watched it and tell us where you compare.
Yeah, we can all recommend it's definitely worth watching.
Yeah,
man.
definitely.
Yeah,
Right,
I've
right.
watched it
Like,
once.
But I could piggyback
Once-
up for Brian, unless you
do
still
it.
got more.
nope.
Yeah. Like you said, I mean the rewatchability aspect definitely plays a huge role. But if I'm going from my personal enjoyments, Knives Out is it's one of my top, I don't know, top movies of all time. You know, like it's definitely up there. Like it's original, it's great, cast is great. Daniel Craig coming in as Benoit Blanc, like you've never seen him play a character like that, and it just feels original. This one still is good and it's a good watch, but I'm gonna take Knives Out 1 over 2 all day, 10 times out of 10.
because it's less original. It's a sequel.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I mean, they still did a great job, like for bouncing off of a 97 Rotten Tomato scored Knives Out. Great movie, and it,
Still
you know, it's hard.
93.
Like
Yeah.
I expected when they announced that Knives Out or Glass Onions coming out, I expected a bomb, and it was higher than my expectations. Like, I mean, it's hard to compete with
What
that
did
first
you
movie.
what did you rank Knives Out at? Do you remember?
Probably a
I have it right
99
here.
plus.
Yeah, I think he gave it a 95. Mike gave it a
95.
91. Andrew
So
89. I'm
and that's funny
96.
because I'm giving Glass Onion an 85 out of so. You know, I mean, like I said, I highly recommend it. It's still a great movie, and Ryan Johnson's camera work and everything. He wrote the movie himself. Like, you know, cameos, even the little Easter eggs, like Jeremy Renner's hot sauce from him being on Hot Ones.
I thought he was gonna show up, honestly, for a second.
Yeah, and then they had the Jared Leto kombucha.
Yep.
That was funny too, because I guess because he's got a cult and like drink the juice, drink the Kool-Aid.
Well, and like
shit
Brian said
that.
with the bong or dong noise too.
Yeah, Gordon or whatever.
Joseph
the hell
Gordon-Levitt,
it is.
yeah. Really cool.
Yeah, but I mean, it's definitely a good movie, and I mean, I'm excited for the third one. You know, like I said, cut me my check. Put it with the boys.
Well, I
85.
can
You want to go,
I
Mike?
can piggyback and swivel off Aiden. So for me, the cast wasn't as good as the
Stop it.
first one.
Suck it.
And I think, like Aiden said, just in terms of comparing it to the first one, just because it isn't as original, being a sequel, and just kind of the nature of the movie itself, being written directly right after Knives Out, I think that's why this movie kind of gets a little bit lower score for me. On top of just that third act, I think the twist was awesome, and everything up until that point really was pretty on par with the first one and just as good. But the last act kind of just fell off for me. And there's just little nitpicky stuff here and there, like we talked about throughout the episode, that just kind of knock it out a little bit for me. So I'm going to give it an 84 out of 100.
Solid.
Gotcha. Josh, I'll actually go before you because you're going to talk this movie up a little bit more than I am.
Okay.
At least I
was
think
good.
so. I think you liked it a little bit more than me. I'm not a
They're paying
huge.
me.
Yeah, they are. They're paying Josh a lot of money to say his review next. I'm not actually a huge mystery fan in general, so by default, I'm not gonna absolutely love these movies. But I did like the first Knives Out. It was original, and they did a really good job of like painting a picture in that movie. The colors, the whole set. It was really, really cool. It felt like they paid a ton of attention to detail, and I I want to say, Josh, that when we did that review, you pointed out a couple of things in it. I don't remember what they are anymore, though. This movie, I feel like it didn't have that, or if it did, I missed it. It may have, and I could have missed it. I'm sure there's a bunch of little facts and things that are in it that you pay attention to. The twist in this movie I thought was really good. When you find out that the sister's actually dead and she's there, that was awesome. I popped back up in my seat and I was interested again. And then the third act came, like I sort of said, actually before we record this, how Mike just mentioned, and I was bored and I was waiting for the movie to end. So with that,
now is it like a hard board or like a soft board? Like
a soft board.
Oh man,
Yeah.
like, oh, where are we at? Or like a fucking turn it off.
No, it wasn't like a fucking turn it off. It was like a, all right, what's gonna happen? And
All
I think
right.
I wanted the end to be, like we said, not with a bang, but a little bit stronger.
Mhm.
And for me, I felt it kind of fell off. I don't know. I don't know what. I'd have to really think about what was missing. Because they rounded out
they like blew up his compound, like that
yeah,
just wasn't
no,
big
they
enough
did,
for you.
and they like rounded out the movie. They
And the
answered
Mona
all-
Lisa, but
yeah, they answered all the questions, but I just kind of was like, oh, okay, that's
All right, I
That's the
respect. I
movie.
just wanted to know where we were feeling at that
No.
ending, how bad it
yeah,
was.
no, and I'm still my score. I'll say it now. I wrote it down in advance. It is lower than these guys, but still in the 80s. I gave it a 81.
Okay.
But it is
That's
it
about
is
where
the,
I expected you.
It is the lowest. I understand that, but it's my personal enjoyment, and I'm not a huge mystery fan, so I'm gonna fall a little bit lower by default. But I'm excited to hear what Josh has to say because I know he liked this movie a lot.
yeah, I did. I'm shocked that you guys aren't a little bit higher, but I mean, obviously 80s is really high anyway. So, I think this movie is really original. If you didn't have Daniel Craig in there and you named it something else, I think it would be considered an original IP because it really is. They didn't follow the exact same formula and steps as the first one did, which I liked a lot. But like Aiden said, I kind of went in with not the highest expectations because sequels kind of do usually let you down. Especially since Rian Johnson directed Last Jedi, which I hate that movie so much. It's crazy that he directed that and then directed these. Yeah, it's
movie's
insane to
bad.
me because these are great and that is dog shit. But yeah, I love the cast in this almost as much as the first movie. It isn't as good as the first movie, but I really enjoyed the movie, and I think it does have a lot of rewatchability after watching it twice, and I'd watch it again. So, yeah. With that being said, oh, and not to mention too, and we just did our top 10 movies of 2022, and I had this in my 5th spot, so I really like this movie a lot. So I'm gonna give it a 92 out of 100. I gave the first one a 96. I don't like it as much as the first movie, but the second one was still really, really good. It had compelling characters and interesting storyline. When Andy gets shot, I still remember my mouth dropped. I was like, whoa. And then
Yeah, I was
again,
caught
I'm
off guard by that. Can't lie.
Yeah,
I
I
was
mean,
like,
yeah,
oh
the-
shit.
the fact that a modern day mystery movie can still have these cuts and corners where it does surprise you and it's still got these funny aspects, like Duke yelling at his mom was fucking hilarious. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just stupid shit like that that made the movie fun and cool. And when Daniel Craig and Andy are talking about the box and everything like that, or Helen, and they're talking about the box and how they're going to infiltrate this island and this friend group, that's not easy. And it was a cool, ingenious idea. And then, like Mike said, the twist was so original and cool. It's crazy that they still have come up with original twists and stuff for these kind of movies. And I don't know.
You know
What
what
were you gonna
I was just gonna say is actually it's really weird because I said I'm not a huge mystery fan movie wise, but I actually really like the first books I ever read when I started reading were all mystery books.
We like
Uh,
prisoners and
well,
stuff
like,
like that. You do
for
like mystery.
Judy-
I
Judy
do, yeah, but
Jones,
that's a little bit
right?
different. That's what'd you say?
It is a
Aiden?
mystery thriller.
Asshole.
Really like Junie B. Jones, right?
And Magic Tree House.
Nancy Drew. You were a big Nancy Drew fan.
Who's that
Ah, yeah, you
motherfucker
guys-
that did detectives with his the Harley Boys? Him
Oh,
and his
Hardy
dog.
Boys, the Hardy Boys.
Hardy Boys.
Hardy Boys.
Alrighty.
Yeah, but I'm a sucker for mystery movies.
Yeah, I'm a Nancy
Um,
Drew
Oh, yeah.
fan. I'll admit it.
Yeah, I'm a Nancy Drew guy. I have a
Yeah.
poster of him. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm gonna go with the 92. I think that's a fair score for this movie. I liked it a lot.
Hey,
obviously.
CW has a Nancy Drew show. I think.
Jesus
You guys,
Christ.
were
Mike,
interested
you're
in that.
sponsored by CW.
CW Marvel. There it is. Fill it
I'll
out on your
take
bingo
that.
cards.
I'll take that.
That's the other thing. I mean, I didn't mention Edward Norton. I think he does a great job. I mean, it's not too much, but he plays it for what it is. I feel
But
like.
when's the last time you've seen him act this well? I mean, it's been a while, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's not really in anything new that I can think of.
Last thing I can remember seeing him in was Sausage Party at the end.
Yeah. Which that's just all voice acting, but still.
But I do. But like I said, I
No,
mean,
we got to see
you
his
guys
face.
Oh, when
agree-
you actually see him, I get you
Yeah.
mean. Yeah,
Can
yeah.
you guys agree with me that they kind of did like a popularity cast? Like,
Oh,
Yeah, they
But
did for
that's
the
what was
first
great
one,
about the
too.
first movie too. I'd say the
Mhm.
first
oh, but
movie
the first one,
almost
there's
had
so
more
many
famous
more.
people.
There's so many more people.
Sure,
Yeah.
but I mean, still, I mean, there's still
It's a
Daniel
fan-
Craig,
like a
Ed
family
Norton.
setting. Like I don't know. I feel like the chemistry is just a little bit better.
In my opinion, the first movie's cast shits on this cast. In my opinion,
It does big time.
I think it's close.
Then you got like, but then you have Edward Norton's obviously an
Yeah,
established
actually, I
actor.
think the casts are close. That's one thing I'll give you.
Yeah.
Ana de Armas, Chris Evans,
Yeah,
Hannah
no,
Baker,
first one.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
You call her Hannah Baker. You don't
The
even know
guy
her.
from-
That's
the
what
guy
I
from
said.
Man of
That's
Steel.
the joke, you
The
asshole.
guy from Man of Steel. He's in there.
Oh, it's Henry Cavill.
No, Superman.
Did you guys see that thing that I sent? That
He's doing it for DC, man. I don't want to fucking hear. I don't want to hear the backlash.
Did you guys hear that Henry Havel is
Henry Cavill as Superman.
yeah, that's gonna be a
Yeah,
good one.
I hope he gets it. He's in talks. But yeah, that kind of ends our review of this movie. Go check it out. I think we all recommend watching it at least once.
Yeah,
definitely
it's on
recommend.
Netflix.
I recommend
so it's
watching it
free.
again if you haven't.
If you haven't seen Knives Out, definitely go rent that, stream it, pirate it,
Yeah.
do whatever you gotta do. Definitely watch that before the first or before the
I
second
don't know.
one.
You don't really need to see that before. There's
You don't
no-
have to.
It's just
Technically.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
technically,
you-
you
but
can
if you
watch
haven't
Glass
seen
Onion
that one.
first. Yeah, I mean, if you haven't seen it, but if you watch Glass Onion first and you haven't seen Knives Out, you're in for a treat because Knives Out 1 is just so much better.
I
so-
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
maybe
little
actually
better, not so
watch
much
them
better.
that way. Watch Glass Onion first, and then watch Knives Out.
Yeah. No, but I mean, yeah.
But yeah, we'll be back. We'll be back Tuesday. We're doing Wolf of Wall Street. It'll be our 50th episode too. So really cool.
Wow, we're really
Yeah,
focusing on some money in the beginning of this year. I just realized.
I
that.
know. That's a
Oh,
sign.
2023.
Hey, we got a
Prize
brand new
season.
updated Discord. We'll drop the link in the bio of the
Yep.
YouTube. You can get us on smallguyspodcast.com. Is that our
Yep.
handle
Either
for our
or, you can
website?
go to smallguyspod.com or Small Guys Podcast. We actually
And that's got all our
Oh,
reviews and
oh, and
scores.
both
And
the
stuff.
Got
names.
our reviews. We just got a new Discord kind of for, to build a community. We have a lot of like fun stuff going on in there. Movie recommendations, ideas and suggestions. It's more of like instead of sending an email, it's just somewhere to go.
It's another
and,
way
like,
for everyone that's listening to kind of get in touch with us. Hey, do this movie, or always noted, you can comment on YouTube. We do see that actually goes, I think, direct. I think it goes to my email too. I
Yeah.
can.
Yeah,
so,
but if you watch one of our episodes, whether it's on, you're just listening to it or you're watching the YouTube, any platform, you can go in the Discord. You can, give us your ratings on a movie. That'd be great to see that.
Yep.
Give us feedback. Say, yeah, Glass Onion suck dick, or
And
I actually-
one last thing I'll plug before we close this out here is check out our top 10 movies of the year. It was our last episode of the year for 2022. We were all in person. So if you're just a listener on Spotify, Apple, or whatever audio platform, check out the YouTube channel because we actually all we had to all fly in. It was big logistic mess. Luckily, we were able to get that done.
New York.
Yeah.
Mike, was that just compa?
And while we're at it, shout out Glass Onion Griddle and Allen Park, man. We even brought that up one fucking time, and I've been wanting to bring it up this whole fucking
They're
time.
not
Well, I
sponsored.
didn't kind of want to dox ourselves as to where we live, but
Once I do it, man, my stomach starts bubbling.
I eat
All
there,
right,
like,
let's
3
close out
times
the
a week.
episode before we start
Alright.
sharing our
good
addresses
night,
again.
good night.
They don't know where we're
Yeah.